shall start with the understanding as to why we need compliance. This is to prevent prospective liability, wastage of time, duplicacy of tasks, and detect periodic checks, reviews on visit, report deficiency in compliance, and implement countermeasures. There are various common thoughts which may come across a performer's mind while carrying out the compliance, such as how to make compliance on time. I don't know which laws are applicable. I'm bored of stereotype compliance system. Don't worry, we are here to clear all your confusions and thoughts. Before we understand how we shall perform various types of compliance, we should know the consequences of non-compliance. Non-compliance leads to higher risks, higher costs, wastage of time, slower operations, reduced efficiency, and legal penalty, imprisonment. Oh my god, that's troublesome. Though it looks troublesome, but it is not tough at all. For better understanding, let's bifurcate the compliance into two parts: company-related compliance and individual compliance. Let us first understand what company-related compliance is: labor laws and display, health, safety and environment, municipal and regulatory laws, MSME Act, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act. What's my role in labor law compliance? For labor law compliance, you simply need to display certain acts, certificates inside your workplace. Following acts need to be complied inside your workplace effectively and continuously: Payment of Wages Act 1936, Child Labor, Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, Contract Labor Act 1970, EPF and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952, the Payments of Gratuity Act 1972, Minimum Wages Act 1948, Maternity Benefit Act 1961, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. This is how the abstract of acts should be displayed. Remember, display of various abstracts of labor law is mandatory at workplace. The employer shall be liable for penalties under various labor laws if it fails to display the same. The penalty may result into lock and seal of the premises as well as monetary penalty. Things to remember: display of name board of the company along with GSTIN and CIN is also a mandate compliance for the performer. At the time of transportation, always carry proper GST invoice or delivery challan and e-way bill. For GST default, penalty is rupees 10,000 or the tax sought to be evaded, whichever is greater. Any goods that are absent in the e-way bill will be detained or seized. For CIN default, the penalty is rupees 1,000 per day till the default is settled. This is how the display board of the company should look like. Since we are a transport company and registered under Carriage Act, hence a few more displays are required. The following should be displayed in each of our premises: Carriage Act Registration Certificate, MTW Certificate, FSSAI Transportation. Now let's get to the next step, that is understanding HSE. What is HSE? HSE stands for Health, Safety and Environment. Under the State Fire Services Law, we have to annually renew our fire safety systems. This includes taking those registration and certificates which ensure your safety, such as Fire Exit Plan, Fire NOC and Lift and Escalator Certificate. Otherwise, there shall be a penalty of imprisonment up to 3 months months or fine of rupees 5,000 or both. In case of continued default, there is a further fine of rupees 1,000 per day. This is how the display of the emergency exit plan, renewal of extinguishers and fire NOC are to be made. One needs to remember that fire incidents are the root cause of major industrial accidents. Hence, sincere countermeasures are the need of the hour. The renewal of lift license, annual maintenance contract, safety certificate and third-party insurance is to be made on a yearly basis, and its display is also to be done under the health, safety and environment policy. If not displayed, then there shall be a penalty of imprisonment up to 3 months or fine of rupees 50,000 or both. In case of continuing default, further fine of rupees 1,000 is levied. Is that all? Well, you are already halfway through the compliance training. Just a few more steps and you will be a pro in compliance. Our next milestone is to understand the municipal and regulatory compliance, which is basically the enforcement of rules enacted by the municipal bodies. Under the municipal laws, things to remember are registration of company or business with the details of premises and business activity. If found non-compliant, then the penalty for the same is levied as per the municipal law of the concerned state. This is an example of trade license. Under the Shops and Establishment Act, registration of the company with the department along with details of employees is mandatory. Penalty for the same is levied as per the municipal law of the concerned state. This is an example of shops and establishment license. Under the Contract Labour Regulation and Abolition Act of 1971, it must be ensured that the contractor who is employing equal to or more than 20 people has a valid license in his name. Penalty for the absence of the same is imprisonment up to 3 months or fine, which may extend up to rupees 1,000 or both. Here is an example of the Contract Labour License. Another important act is the Legal Metrology Act. Under the Legal Metrology Act, verification and calibration of weight machines at office premises is a must. The penalty includes fine or fine with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months. Here is an example of the legal metrology license. Let's quickly look at some other licenses and registrations which are important for our business. Inspection certificate for generator set. Annual inspection and certification of installed generators comprising of more than 500 kVA are compulsory. This is a license for storage of goods containing explosives. License is mandatory wherein more than 1,000 kilograms, together or in parts, of explosive content are stored at a warehouse. Here is the consent certificate of State Pollution Control Board. Consent letter is mandatory from State Pollution Control if built-up area for warehouse storage is more than 20,000 square meters. This is the no objection certificate for storing of petroleum products. Compulsory license is required for storage of petroleum on premises. Authorization certificate for storage and transportation of toxic and hazardous materials. Now that you have understood as to what is to be displayed as compliance, now we should understand another very crucial aspect. MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act of 2006. Micro, small and medium enterprises are classified into two classes: manufacturing enterprises and service enterprises. Under manufacturing, micro enterprises are those enterprises which are less than or equal to 25 lakhs. Small enterprises are those enterprises which are more than 25 lakhs but do not exceed 5 crore. Medium enterprises are those enterprises which are more than 5 crore but do not exceed 10 crore. Under service, micro enterprises are those enterprises which are less than or equal to 10 lakhs. Small enterprises, those enterprises which are more than 10 lakhs but do not exceed 2 crore. Medium enterprises are those enterprises which are more than 2 crores but do not exceed 5 crore. MSME compliance is extremely important, and if it is not followed, then there are heavy penalties under the MSME Act. What's my role under MSME? Don't worry, it is simple. Just follow these small simple steps. Check whether covered under MSME, collect a MSME declaration from the vendor and upload and update the same on SRM. Make payment due to MSME enterprises within 45 days from the date of invoice. Record of invoices is to be mandatorily maintained at each office on the date of receiving and acceptance of invoices for MSME vendors. Part B. Individual level compliance. Since you have learned what company level compliance requirements are, now we should focus a bit on the individual level compliance requirements, which contains two major areas: don'ts under Code of Ethics and whistleblower policy, confidentiality, do's and don'ts. So many complex words. Don't get confused by the heavy terminology. Let's understand them one by one. Here's a list of don'ts under Code of Ethics. Accept a gift from any third party submitting a proposal with company. Give any gift or advantage with the expectation of a business advantage except for customary gifts, unless approved by appropriate authority. Threaten or retaliate against another employee who has refused to commit a bribery offense or who has raised concerns under this policy. Engage in any activity that might lead to a breach of this policy. What is whistleblowing? Whistleblowing requires you to report whenever and whatever you see or feel is not in the favor of the company. Following can be the nature of concerns: abuse of authority, breach of contract, breach of employee, code of conduct or rules, criminal offense, fraud or misappropriation or deliberate error in preparations of accounts, manipulations of company data or records, negligence resulting in substantial and danger to public health and safety, pilferage of confidential or proprietary information, deliberate violation of law or regulation, bribery, corruption, facilitation and kickbacks, any other unethical, biased, favored, imprudent event. To whom should I report my concern to? Reporting is simple. Just report the issue in confidentiality to the Ombudsman, Mr. Naveen Gupta at nvn_gupta@hotmail.com. Make sure that you report within 30 days and lay down the following: background, history and reason for the concern, name, date, place and other possible information. In case of anonymous disclosure, you need not give your personal details. Do's and don'ts regarding confidential information. Do's: ensure that any commercial information of a customer is kept secure. under covers, folders, envelopes. Ensure that the company's business or commercial information is kept secured and not shared with any customer, vendors, etc. Return the information, documents, files once the purpose of the information is achieved. Destroy or dispose the copy of information properly. Don'ts: keep files or documents in open. Do not disclose any sensitive or crucial information with peers, friends, vendors, customers, etc. I'm happy to have learned so many things today. Hope it was a good learning for you. This completes what all compliance requirements we need to take care of. Last step is how to achieve it. Compliance file keeping. Since now you know how compliance should be done, it is very important to record the same in a file for ready reference. The following licenses needs to be maintained at the branch: Panchayat, municipal tax and property tax, shops and commercial establishments, legal metrology, weighing machine certificate, FSSAI, transportation, trade license, MTW certificate, Carriage Act registration certificate. The following licenses needs to be maintained at the controlling: Panchayat, municipal tax and property tax, shops and commercial establishments, FSSAI, transportation or storage, FSSAI, transportation, trade license, MTW certificate, Carriage Act registration certificate, fire extinguishers. The following licenses needs to be maintained at transshipment, warehouse and hub: Panchayat or municipal tax and property tax, shops and commercial establishments, trade license, legal metrology, weighing machine certificate, FSSAI, transportation, storage, applicable if we are storing any food items, MTW certificate, Carriage Act registration certificate, fire extinguisher documents or fire exit plan, fire NOC, manufacture, storage and import of hazardous chemical clearance, applicable only if we are storing, state lift and escalators, sewage treatment plant, only if applicable. The following licenses needs to be maintained at the region: Panchayat, municipal tax and property tax, shops and commercial establishments, trade license, state lift and escalators, FSSAI, transportation, MTW certificate, Carriage Act registration certificate, fire extinguisher. You can access compliance module from My TCIL Legal Compliance. These are the benefits of the compliance module: task management, role-based calendar, alerts and reminders, list of pending activities, simple task of allocations and reallocation, compliance information, database of applicable compliance, amendments updated quickly, latest versions of law available, all states and law categories, archiving, trail of user activities, repository of compliance proofs, detailed search options, compliance history available, reports, real-time status, risk analysis report, detailed analysis, instant and multiple formats, management report. Do have a look on the accountability of compliance. Designation, responsibility. Divisional CEO, responsible for all the compliance applicable on the division across India. Regional managers, responsible for their area or state of operation as may be assigned to them from time to time. Controlling managers or hub and DPT in charge, responsible for all the branches, hubs and transshipments under their supervision as may be assigned to them from time to time. Head of department, HODs, responsible for all the compliance applicable on the department which they may be heading at a particular point of time. legal officer plays a coordinating role in fulfillment of all compliance activities in their respective region for all divisions. This brings us to end of this module. Hope it was a great learning for you. Here's wishing you the best.
हमारा भाई बहुत रन है
एयर इंडिया और एयर इंडिया और